Greetings, my
Hey sister, how you doing? Did you know that you're beautiful, beautiful? Hey sister, there ain't no choosing. Did you know that you're
greetings. Salaam alaikum, namaste, etasem, bawani, and the list goes on. My name is Quatasha, and you are here on the Eyeame channel. Welcome back. Happy New Year. I hope January went really well for you. We are in February now with our Valentine series. So this series was created to assist our young women in the dating world, and basically just offer up what I've gathered in my experience and information I really needed back then. So today's title is how to become a wifey, how to catch yourself a husband, how to enter a relationship. Now with that, we are also doing Eyeame work. So first things first, we have to ensure that we're good, to ensure that we can attract and bring someone into our life that makes sense. So the few things that come to me is one, there's a model in psychology called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So our physiological, safety and social needs need to be met before we even contemplate getting into a relationship. If you don't have money, your focus should be that. It shouldn't be catching man. If your home situation is challenging or you feel unsafe, you shouldn't be looking into a relationship, because you need to focus and put your energy where it needs to be. Otherwise you're going to attract someone that you need as opposed to you desire, and that already sets the dynamic off to not be the best that it could be. Another part of our work is having a foundational level of confidence. Are you confident in your body? Can somebody rip off your clothes in the middle of the day and you still feel sexual and desirable, and not that you have to conceal yourself? Are you confident in your mental health, your emotional health, your finances? Keep in mind, dating is expensive for men and women as well, like eyelash, dress, nails, they're not free, okay? So all of that needs to be considered too. The next thing is healing. Again, this just needs to be foundational, because if we wait to become our perfect dream ideal selves, we're gonna be waiting for a long time. When I say foundational healing, we are living in this gender war, and I don't understand why. So we have men saying that women are bitches and hoes, they ain't worth nothing. Women saying men are trash, they're useless, they're not good for anything. Oh, if that is our idea and we're heterosexual, how are we going to, if that is the concept we have in our brain, how is it possible that we're going to now gather somebody that makes sense from that gender? It wouldn't be possible. So we need to really reevaluate our ideas of gender. First things first, one of the really good ways is to identify your relationship with your opposite sex parent. For example, myself, I made a video about this, I'll add it in the link below. It's called Daddyless Daughters, or Dealing with Daddylessness. I can't recall exactly, but one of the things that we should be asking people is, how is your parents? It lets you know so much. For example, my dad and I's relationship is very minimal. And so if a guy was to ask me like, oh Kaiko, how's Baba? It will be evident that we do not chat on a daily basis. But also he should be able to pick up on, Kaiko is not hurt by this. I'll never speak unwell of my father, like he's my dad at the end of the day. What happened, but you work through those issues and you can't leave it unhealed. And so you maneuver accordingly. If you hear somebody say, let me tell you one story. So I remember I was talking to this guy who's a lot older than me. I was 19, he was 28, he was Nigerian, and I asked him how his mum was, and he said, that bitch. I said, thank you so much for letting me know all I need to know. And that was, I think, the last conversation that we had. So that's the first step. Our basic needs are met, we have a foundational level of confidence, and we're already on our healing journey. The second thing is to have non-negotiables. You need to have 3 to 5 non-negotiable things that are not shakable. So let me use myself as an example. For me, I have to have a partner that is family orientated or that has led people before me. I cannot be the person that comes and offers you children and then we are the pilot study of if you can do it or not. So you'd have to be like a firstborn or really involved in the children in your family's lives, taken care of pets, been a manager, some evidence, some proof, some reference that I know you've got this. I can be confident that you are going to be able to lead my family. When I go out dating and I hear that people don't know what their niece's birthday is, pay attention to that. So you have your non-negotiables. It can be intellect, funniness, how much money they make, are they adventurous, are you sexually compatible, do they know lots of people, whatever it is, have those 3 to 5 things that are in your head, and inshallah it should filter people out that you don't need. Yeah? Okay. So the third thing is to know our worth. These terms are very generic, but I'm hearing this idea of what do women bring to the table, and I think the issue is that it's insinuating something negative, but it does give us like room for thought. The best way to look at this idea is without emotion. So let's just look at it as a contract. A relationship is a contract. You provide service and goods, and in turn you will receive services and goods. And so that will allow us to actually think, no wait, what is it that I'm really offering? What do I bring? And just make a list of it. That way, when people start to question your non-negotiables, or if you deserve these things, you've already got a list in your head. Actually, yeah, I do deserve those things. Are you mad? It makes you even more confident that what you're requesting from others is something that you are completely deserving of. Another way to look at it is if someone was to tell me that a bag of Skittles costs £10, I'm walking out of the shop. There's no way. There's no way when I know that Tesco with my club card is going to cost me £1. So that's what it is. We know our worth. We know what we're bringing to the table because we've written a list down. And then we can feel comfortable and confident requesting what it is that we're requesting when it comes to our non-negotiables. Okay, so the fourth thing is knowing a pathway plan, knowing what your aim, your vision, your goal is for the next year, the next 5 years, and then finding someone that is compatible, their pathway plan, their long-term goals are compatible. So obviously this means that you're now interacting, dating, talking to a few people, seeing what's going on, but there are certain things that are binary. It's either it's happening or it's not happening. So things like getting married, having children, traveling, religion, money, is either we're saving or we're spending. It's either we have youths or we don't have youths. These are things that need to be spoken about kind of early on, just to avoid the wahala later on down the line. In addition, when we're defining these relationships, I think that we should look into this as well. Our love languages, are they compatible? If not, do you know how to speak the other person's love language? Introverts and extroverts. Oh my God. I am such an introvert, and the idea of being the extrovert is so tiring, especially after watching Insecure and how much like excursion they do. Oh, it's not possible. So looking into that as well. I personally would use numerology, I would use astrology, I would use a few things. Another thing that just dawned on me when it comes to understanding and defining relationships, oh come on, come back. Yes, it's roles and expectations. So for example, I know inshallah when I'm gifted with babies, I'm not planning on running back to work straight away. And so it would mean that I have to choose a partner that trusts me enough, that believes in what I believe in, and is choosing me to mother his children because he thinks that I have the skills and the potential to do a good job. So looking at certain roles and duties, which on the flip side means that he would have to be the primary breadwinner during the time whilst I'm raising those babies. Anywho's, we always get taught the important part of a relationship is communication is key. But if you actually hear a lot of people, children, if you pay attention to toddlers' conversation, there's an actual term for it. They're having conversations by themselves, but they're talking to others. So one could be talking about a frog and one could be talking about a truck. But it's funny because adults do it too. Oftentimes we'll be conversing, but we are only listening in order to respond, not listening to comprehend. And that's the next thing that I wanted to add. Communication and comprehension is essential. Finding people's communication style. Me, I'm a talker. I love to talk. Let's talk it out. Let's work through it. Let's talk it out. God, I'm such a girl. But some people don't want to talk, or some people want to talk maybe after a disagreement, or some people would prefer to text. Some people would prefer for you to pick up on it or find the right time to have the conversation. So that is really important as well. When it comes to comprehending, one of the things we can do is give the other person the floor for 10 minutes straight. That means we're only listening. We're not attempting to respond, just focusing on comprehending what it is that's being said. The second thing is you can even say, okay, this is what I heard you say. And if there's a miscommunication there, they can say, I didn't say that, I meant this, or let me reiterate it this way. That way we're actually making steps to understand that both ideas are being transferred effectively. And then the final thing is, don't date with the intention of getting married. Give me a moment. So Greeeeeeeting says that dating is to collect data, and that's all that we're doing. Do you know that like at least 2-3 of my friends said that when they go on their first date, they start preparing their wedding dress and how the wedding day is going to go, and it was so shocking to me. I do not do that at all. I literally am just there thinking, are we going to catch a vibe or not? The conversation was flowing deliciously, so what's happening here? And I literally just play it by ear. I do think that's got something to do with my charts, but I digress. You're just here in the moment. It has to be a few dates for you to collect data to see if you're compatible, to see if, you know, people honor their words, see if people are on time, see if people are lying, see if people have good intention for you before we even start thinking long term. This way of thinking also helps if it doesn't work out. If you only got to the first date and after that you're like, oh my god, you don't have to crumble those dreams because they weren't built up to begin with. You're just there to enjoy, to show the dress, to converse. If the vibe is there, we take it a step further, a step further, a step further, but don't jump the gun like that. I know there's actually so much more that I could have said in this video, but I do want to keep it short and sweet. There's so much more to touch on in this series, so I hope you enjoyed, I hope that it resonates, and I hope the information was helpful. Bless up, take care, and remember, I am in everything.